Hello everybody, I'm Doug Wright, and this is the September episode of Sports Done Right.
This is Sports Done Right. SCTV sports anchor Doug Wright brings you expanded coverage of Sun City athletic action and introduces us to some of our Sun City neighbors who share their sports stories.
In today's episode, we'll be looking at new beginnings and preparations undertaken by residents and clubs in order to excel. Our theme this month comes from an all-time great wide receiver who played for the San Francisco 49ers, none other than Jerry Rice. Jerry was well known for being the best prepared on the field and was quoted as saying, "Do today what others won't, so tomorrow you can do what others can't." That's what made him a fantastic football player, and you too can excel by heeding his words. We start this month with a look at our newly renovated softball complex. Let's take a look and a listen. Well, we're at the Veterans Memorial Field with Holly Meckley, the president of the softball club, and very active member Rick LeBeau. We're here to talk about the field and what happened this summer. And Holly, can you I know it's repetitive, but kind of sum up what you were looking for?
Sure, right. So facilities decided our field needed a rest. So during the months of June and July, we were not able to be on the field. They shut down the field. They did some aerating and top dressing and supposedly gave our field the much needed rest that it needed to look beautiful like it does now.
Now, is there anything that you would have liked to have seen done that didn't quite get done?
Well, we're still hoping to get some shade over our picnic areas. As you know, we have hot dog days on a regular basis, and it's very sunny and hot, and we do need to have some sun sails or some type of shade structure over there to protect people from balls and to give some shade.
And how about inside?
Well, we're hoping inside that building over there that we work out of to have a sink installed so we can clean our utensils that we use for hot dog. And Rick can talk more about that.
Okay, well, Rick, talk more about that and talk more about how you got through the summer.
So during the summer months, we were able to secure an off-site facility in Bluffton, and we were able to have a co-ed league, about 75 players, and then we also had an open invitational on Wednesday. So even though our field was closed for 2 months, we were able to get out at another field twice a week for those 8 weeks, which was great.
And how do you've played on the field now, you've practiced. They actually put you back on the field when they said they would. And then, Tropical Storm Debbie came in. But how do you find the field?
The field is in good shape. The infield is dry, but that's obviously because we had a lot of dry weather. There is a relatively big lip right between the infield and outfield, so you just have to be careful of that because based on how the ball bounces, it could hit you in places that you don't want it to be hit.
Right, I got that. In the nose, you mean.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why they call them nose guards. I would say this, and they're going to build a sink inside. Anything else that you looking for?
No, we're trying to expand the facility, give us a little bit more storage. We've got 27 hot dog days planned for this season, inclusive of a special Veterans Memorial Day on the 11th. And we expect big crowds, so we want to make sure we have enough storage and capacity for those days, and they can range anywhere from 800 to 1,000 hot dogs each event.
Terrific. And Holly, while we're at it, would you just go ahead and give us a quick summary of what's coming up this fall league-wise, how many players, and when it all starts?
Absolutely. So our league kicks off Thursday league kicks off on the 27th. We have opening day that morning at 8:30. We have 9 teams in that league. We also added this year a Friday league. That'll kick off on the 28th, first game at 9 a.m. That's also 9 teams. We now have a Saturday league with 4 teams. And then we have a women's league that's playing twice a week on Saturdays and Mondays. And then we're trying to take care of the guys that work. So we have a still working league with 2 teams, and they'll be playing mixed teams throughout the season. So we're just giving everyone that wants to play an opportunity to play.
Well, how many players in all, just rough estimate, how many people will be playing softball this fall?
About 280.
That's a good number. That is a very good number. Okay. Well, Rick, anything else you'd like to add?
No, we're just looking forward to another fun season, and hopefully everyone can come out and enjoy some games and have some hot dogs.
27 hot dogs, you said?
Hot dog days.
All right. And Holly, you got the scoop on some special days coming up?
So we have opening day. We're doing a fundraising event. So we're collecting bras and underwear for the Ladies Undergarment Society. Then on October 12th, we're hosting our second annual pet adoption day, and it was very successful last year. We have two people coming in, or two of the rescue units coming in to bring the animals, and hopefully we'll be able to match them up with much needed forever homes.
Well, give us the scoop on some special softball days. Veterans?
So we have Veterans Day coming up in November, and that's always on Monday the 11th. And that'll be a big event as well. So we're working on that behind the scenes, trying to get that to be a big event. We're also talking about maybe the possibility of having the Patriots come back next year. So we'll be talking about that at our upcoming general meeting.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty good summary of everything that's gone on, and we really appreciate your time. We know you want to get out there and sweat, Rick. So go practice. And Holly, as always, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you
so much.
This month's profile of interesting residents focuses on some fairly recent arrivals here who have carved out amazing careers in sports reporting. None other than Bill and Jane Rosinski. Let's take a look and learn more about them. Well, today we're at the shelter behind the 18th green at Hidden Cypress. And we have a very interesting interview today. We're going to be talking to Bill and Jane Rosinski about their careers and their recent adventure, I'll call it, in Frankfurt, Germany. So let's sit down and get the scoop from Bill and Jane. All right, Bill, Jane, welcome. We're here today to find out a little bit about you and where you are and what you're doing now. And obviously you're in Sun City. How long have you been here?
We moved in 2 years ago in May, and we still have a place in Charlotte, which is where we spent a lot of the last 25 years, but came down here, found a house on the south side. We live on Hampton Circle, and split about half the year between here and Charlotte, and really enjoying meeting the people, playing golf, and gonna play trivia tonight, so all kinds of good things.
How about that? Yeah, but hopefully there's a lot of sports trivia. Now, where are you all from?
Well, I grew up in northeastern Ohio, and we went to Marietta College. Bill's from Buffalo. And from Buffalo, he came down to Marietta College, and we met and got married, and we've lived several places since then.
Okay, and when you were a kid, which you still are really, but when you were a kid, did you participate a lot in athletics or get involved?
You know, for girls back then, when you're growing up in the 60s, there wasn't a lot of opportunities.
remember that one.
We played basketball half court. You know, it was unbelievable.
Did you have to wear a skirt?
Yes, of course. But the funny thing is, after I graduated from college, well, I played some basketball in college, just, intramural stuff. I ended up becoming a coach of basketball, volleyball, and softball.
Well, good. That's great. And how about you? What compelled you to go to a small school in Ohio? Okay, I'll remember that.
And you can keep going, because other than the college, there's not a lot going on there.
Okay, and were you able to do some broadcasting in college?
Yeah, I mean, even as a freshman, I was doing like JV basketball games on television. I was doing soccer games on the radio. Throughout my freshman, I was running camera. I was doing sportscasts. I was doing all kinds of things that, just getting my feet wet to see if I was any good at it.
Okay, evidently you were. Now, tell us a little bit where it went from there on your career.
Okay, so we met in school. We did not date in school, but she stayed.
That's your mistake.
Exactly. She stayed to teach
Coach.
and coach.
Yeah.
And then I stayed to work at the local radio station in Marietta, Ohio, which did all kinds of, we did high school football, we did the college, we did baseball, we did the slow pitch softball game of the week. We did if we could sell it, we did it, as far as broadcasting is concerned. And that's where we started. Went to another town, Alliance, Ohio, which is not far from Canton. And then I grew up in Buffalo. So then I ended up going to back to Buffalo to work for a year. Was there for about a year, dragging Jane along with me. And we had our first son when we lived in Alliance. We had our second son. We actually ended up moving to, I started working in New York City in 1981, working for UPI Radio. And we had a house, we had a couple of different homes in northern New Jersey. That's where our second son was born. And all the while I'm broadcasting. I'm not doing a lot of play-by-play, but I'm covering big events. When I got to UPI Radio in New York, I was working in the Daily News building at 42nd and 2nd. Pretty cool back in the...
That sounds like fun, actually.
Back in the 80s. So, and from there, the key was meeting a bunch of people. I met in my traveling to cover events, and I would do reporting and interviews. I wasn't doing play-by-play, but I got to meet all the other big movers and shakers in radio who did the hiring.
Right. That's good people to know.
Yes. So eventually, I was with UPI. They moved us from New York to Washington in '83, and then I ended up working for the old Mutual Radio Network. Larry King used to do his talk show overnights, Mutual Radio Network, and then we would do. I would do sportscasts, and they did play-by-play. They did Notre Dame football. They did the NFL Game of the Week. They did college football, college basketball. So I finally got my opportunity in 1988 to call 87 to call my first college game nationally. And then in 88, they liked my work, so I started doing the NFL games nationally. And then from there, the Atlanta Falcons, I wanted to be the voice of a team. Falcons hired me in 92. 3 years in Atlanta, loved it, opened the Georgia Dome. Teams weren't very good, as you might know.
They still managed to find ways to lose.
Right. And then from Atlanta, there was a bunch of stuff going on, and I wanted to stay, but the Carolina Panthers were starting in 1995, an expansion team. So I left Atlanta. We moved to Charlotte, which is where we've still been since 1995. I became the first voice of the Panthers, did that for 10 years. I left the Panthers after 10, went back to Westwood One doing NFL games, worked with Dan Reeves for 3 years as my color analyst. Roman Gabriel was my analyst in Charlotte. A lot of people from our age group remember Roman as a player.
I do.
Yeah. So I've met and worked with a lot of cool people over the years. And then 2009, ESPN Radio hired me to be their voice of college football. Also in 2009, I started doing PGA Tour radio, golf on the radio. You find it on Sirius XM. And all the while, she's been doing my stats and driving the golf car when we're doing golf events. And so since then, 2019, my boss retired, so that meant the new guy came in and said, Bill, we're going to go with somebody else. So we've been through that in our lives. So I've been an independent contractor working for Westwood One, Compass, and PGA Tour Radio doing NFL and golf the last 3-4 years.
Okay, and how did you wind your way into teaching and coaching, and what happened after that?
Well, when I graduated from college, I was teaching and I was coaching, and then we started dating, and I started doing stats for him, and then we kept moving, and I'd been a reporter for newspapers when I was in college. So I went back to my reporting roots, and I was the women's editor, as they called it back then, for a paper in Alliance, Ohio. And then when we moved, I went on to public relations for school districts and for chambers of commerce in another move. And then eventually we moved so often that eventually I just stopped working and raising the kids.
Okay. Let's get to the meat of the matter, though, and that is, how did you land the Frankfurt job? And as I understand it, the Chiefs were playing somebody. I can't remember who.
That was the Dolphins.
Okay. And you were there last fall. Mm-hmm. And so how'd you land that gig, and how was it?
Well, it was great. Like I said, I'm back as an independent contractor with Westwood One, and they do all the national radio games. If it's Thursday night, Sunday night football, Monday night football, and all the games that they play in Europe or elsewhere, they're going to be in Brazil this year to open the season. They hire the talent for that. So we went over to Frankfurt, and we did 2 games, actually. We were in Frankfurt for like 10 days. We did the Chiefs and Miami, and then hung around for, it was the was it Jaguars and the Patriots.
Okay.
So we were there for 10 days. And other than doing the games, we would spend a lot of time just traversing around Frankfurt and going down to the Rhine to take a cruise and seeing the sights. And it's been, and we've done this. We've been to London, to Wembley, and then the new stadium they have at Tottenham. We've done NFL games there, and even golf tournaments. I mean, the Open Championship is currently going on, and I covered. ESPN Radio actually owned the rights to the U.S. Open and British Opens for 5 years, so we were over in World Troon. I've been at the old course in St. Andrews. Got a picture of us standing on the Swilken Bridge. So I mean, my career has taken us.
And you were with the Henrik Stenson and Phil Mickelson.
Yeah, when Mickelson and Stenson played at that great final Sunday.
Legendary.
Yeah, I was calling Mickelson shots. The other guy on the course was calling Stenson, and we were with him for all 18 holes on Sunday, and this far from the, where they're hitting shots. I mean, we're inside the ropes. We're not that far from the players calling shots. In fact, it was funny. One of my sons sent me a picture of us. Mickelson is walking down the fairway, and his picture was, imagine seeing your mom and dad standing right by Phil Mickelson, and he's playing the Open Championship. So he sent us the picture, which we still have. It's kind of cool. So
now, are you going to continue to do this? And if so, for how long?
Until they don't want me anymore.
Okay.
I am running into some of the age thing with certain employers. They want to get younger, and younger means cheaper in many instances. They got rid of Roger Maltby and Gary Koch on NBC, Costas and McCord ousted at CBS, all to get younger, and that's the one thing I'm fighting. But I always look at it's radio. I've done some TV over my career, but how old do they know when you're on radio?
No. Great.
So in fact, we've been talking about this. I go gradually. I want to keep doing it until I can't, until they tell me I can't do it anymore.
Okay, are you all for that?
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
We have so much fun.
well, great.
Yeah, we get paid too. So.
Yeah, well, there is that.
Go.
Now, let me ask you this. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You lived in Sun City for a couple of years. What got you here?
Him.
Yeah, I dragged her. I had to talk her into it. It was, and she'll joke that we bought a house here so I could have a golf cart.
Okay.
All right.
That's no joke.
No, it isn't.
True.
Yeah. No, it was because we'd spent a lot of time over the last 20 years. We have friends who live in Sea Pines.
Okay.
And we have a timeshare in Hilton Head. So we spent a lot of time coming down here. And then I think it was the pandemic when things were kind of very dark and dreary in the city of Charlotte. And we lived uptown. We live in a condo there. That I wanted to get something else. So we came down here, looked around. We love the South Side. We love the fact that there's trees. They didn't bulldoze the whole thing to put up new homes. And it was golf. I mean, there's a lot of retirement communities that you can look at, but how many of them have golf courses?
True enough.
Right. So, and you got the three here. So we love. In fact, I actually work with the guy who designed the courses, Mark McCumber.
Okay.
So I work with him on PGA Tour Radio. I've joked with him a few times about how hard hitting Cypress is, and it's a little easier at Okatee. And he told me he had to dumb down Okatee.
Well, he got to my level.
Yeah, mine too.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you have any time to do other activities here?
Well, I play some pickleball when we're here with friends, and we do play golf. And I've done bocce ball a couple times, and
Ping pong?
we played table tennis. Yeah. So yeah, we're trying to get into those
We're
things.
in the trivia nights, and I think the best thing about Sun City are the people we've met, because
Sure.
you can live in a magnificent house and in a great community, but if you don't get along with your neighbors or it's hard to get to know people, that's what it's all about. And we've gotten to know our neighbors. They're great folks, and actually some of them are younger than we are, which is kind of cool. A lot of them are younger than we are.
I hear that. Okay, well, I really appreciate you taking the time and your busy schedule. Football's just around the corner, and we'll be looking to hear you on Westwood One and or other venues. And as I say, thanks for being with us, and we wish you luck in the future. In concert with our theme this month, it's clear they have a lot of preparation to do prior to calling a game for millions of listeners. But they have fun doing it and other things as well in their extensive travels. We also found ways to beat the summer heat in addition to table tennis and water volleyball, which we featured last month. This month, it's billiards and bowling. In case you haven't heard, there's another indoor sport available to beat the heat or any wet weather we may encounter. The bowling club kicks off another season in September, and the club has enjoyed vigorous growth in membership, so much so that there is typically a waiting list and a substitute pool to make sure all league teams are stocked up. In fact, some neighborhoods are organizing their own competitions unrelated to club activities, so don't miss out. For those who choose to participate, the golf program here offers Get Ready for Golf, led by Kevin Foley, the head pro at Argent Lakes Golf Club, which also reboots in September. This is a crash course for newcomers to the game and others who haven't played in years, and it's very popular, so don't miss your chance to sign up. Sun City Golf Club members should also be on the lookout for registration information for the annual Birdie's Beer and Barbecue event scheduled for 7th of September, also at Argent Lakes. In our continuing efforts to beat the heat this summer, we visited the cool confines of the billiards room last week. There were several friendly competitions in the 8-ball and 9-ball formats going on, and we were able to watch a match between members Tom Fimara and recently crowned club champion Mike Lara, who quickly demonstrated why he's the champ. The billiards room is open every day and all residents are welcome, except during specific times reserved for club members. Plenty of women also participate and have time set aside for them as well. So give this club a try and beat the heat. The fall softball seasons commenced on August 27th for the Tuesday-Thursday League, August 28th for the Wednesday-Friday League, and August 31st for the Saturday and Women's Leagues. Our team was there for the opening day ceremonies on the 28th. Let's take a look. Well, Holly, it's another opening day, and it's been a long wait over a long, hot summer. Tell us what all went on here today.
So we had opening ceremonies. We have all the teams lined up. Of course, we have national anthem. We gave out 2 umpire awards today to Dave Willis and John Hansen, both very long-time umpires here at Sun City, and we appreciate their volunteer service to the softball club.
Okay, and tell me again, I know you've told me before, but how many teams?
All right, well, today we have 9 teams. Tomorrow we have opening ceremonies for our other league, which is a Wednesday-Friday league. We have 9 teams playing in that league. Then we have 6 teams playing on Saturday, and then we have the women's league also playing on Saturdays and Mondays.
Okay, and rumor has it there might be some hot dogs today.
Oh, yeah, Weikert's sponsoring our hot dogs today. So the first 700 hot dogs is picked up by Weichert. So come on out, enjoy a hot dog, and enjoy the day at softball.
Okay, well, it's you've done a great job of organization as always. Got a great board working for you, and we look forward to a great season, a great 4 seasons.
Great, thank you very much.
Well, Edie, you are, in fact, the secretary of the league, which carries with it some responsibility for sure. And tell me about which league you play in here.
I play in the Tuesday-Thursday League.
And how many women are in that?
There are 3 drafted women this season.
Okay, is that a good number, or is that a small number? Or?
It's up 1. We've had 2 for like the last 3 seasons, and this is the first year where we've had 3 drafted women.
Okay, cool. And of course, we've got a women's league. Tell us just in generic terms what they're going to be doing.
They have 4 drafted teams this season, and they have developed their pitching core, and they're going to be pitching their own games instead of inviting women to guest pitch for them. So each team has a variety of women that either are confirmed pitchers or learning the ropes and going to split the season to develop their skills. So we're looking forward to a good season and developing more women as pitchers so that we can grow that league, because it's key to have pitchers.
Yeah,
Because-
got to have them.
Yeah, so they're working towards getting more women to come out to pitch.
Okay, and of course, the women's groups and other groups have traveling teams, and they're going to be out and about all fall, I would imagine. Various competitions.
Yeah, they have, there's several of us that play travel ball, some inside the community, some outside. We have tournaments in September, October, and November to finish off the season. The 60s women's team out of Sun City is going to the Villages in October to play in a world championship there. And then they may be going also to Panama City Beach. There's at least 4 of us that are participating in the Utah St. George Huntsman Senior Games, and that is during Myrtle Beach week, which is when the men go to Myrtle Beach from here. The 60s and 70s play in Myrtle Beach.
It looks like you're going to have a busy fall.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Edie, for your time today. It's a great day. Softball's back, the field's back, and we hope you have a great year.
All right. Thank you.
Well, as you can see from the action on the field, there's some really good softball in the offing this fall. And we've learned about this league and the women's league and the Wednesday, Friday league and the Saturday league. So they got quite a lot going on over here. It's a hot dog day. It's a sponsored hot dog day, which means the first 700 are free. And we talked to various other people about what went on today in the opening ceremonies. So come on out and enjoy it. Be a good spectator and have a hot dog. This is Doug Wright for Sun City Sports. It should be a very exciting fall season for all leagues. And of course, the hot dog days will be well attended and it'll be delicious. So listen to Jerry Rice. Whether you're preparing for a new season in one of our softball leagues and our bowling leagues, a bocce league, or whatever else catches your fancy, do so with purpose and do today what others won't. So tomorrow you can do what others can't. And please, put those addictive electronics away for a few moments, and whatever else you do, keep that body in motion. That's our show for September 2024. I'm Doug Wright, and I'll see y'all next month on Sports Done Right.
Sun City TV is keeping Doug as busy as possible. It keeps him out of trouble. And he and SCTV could use your help. We need those action shots and Kodak moments that happen every day here in Sun City. Since Doug can't be everywhere, think about when you're out on the courses, the courts, or the field, putting that phone to good use and snapping those shots of your favorite athletes. To get a TV-worthy shot, here's a quick TV camera lesson. Most importantly, hold your camera for a landscape, not portrait orientation. A good comparison to help you remember, think hamburger, not hot dog. Got it? To click it up a notch, here's some other hints. For a video, lock those elbows or stabilize against a solid surface. That way no viewers get motion sick. Pan slowly, that motion sickness thing. Shoot with your back to the sun and bright light. Check your background. Frame your subject. And zoom with your feet, which means get closer. Then get those visuals ready to send to SCTV. Format those pictures and videos as MP4, MOV, JPG, JPEG, and HEIC. Send your photos and videos with a brief description of the event details and identify persons when possible. Email them to suncitytvhh@gmail.com and watch for your first TV photo credit.